Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking on one of the most misunderstood matchups in history, ninja versus assassin, or more specifically, the Japanese shinobi versus the medieval Hashshashin. Now, this is one of those comparisons that sounds simple until you actually look at the history, because most people don't know these groups through real sources. They know them through anime, movies, video games, and a lot of internet nonsense. So here's what we're doing today. We're comparing them the right way, who they really were, how they were trained, what they actually did, and in what kind of mission each one would have been more dangerous. No myths, no fantasy, just real history. And the answer? It's a lot more interesting than just picking who looks cooler in black. If you're new here, welcome to Medieval Archive, the channel where we dig past the myths and get to the real history. If you enjoy these deep historical comparisons, hit subscribe and join us. We upload new videos every week. And if you like this one, a quick like really helps the channel grow. All right, let's get into it. Before we compare them, we need to get one thing straight. These were not the same kind of fighter. When people say ninja, what they usually imagine is a man in black pajamas jumping across rooftops with a straight sword on his back. That image is mostly fiction. Historically, ninja, or more accurately, shinobi, were agents used for espionage, infiltration, sabotage, scouting, and sometimes assassination, especially during Japan's Sengoku period in the 15th and 16th centuries. Their real strength was not flashy combat. It was information, deception, and survival. The assassins, or Hashshashin, were something very different. They were members of the Nizari Ismaili sect in the medieval Islamic world, especially between the 11th and 13th centuries. Their stronghold was Alamut, and their most famous early leader was Hassan Isabah. They became feared for highly targeted political killings, usually against rulers, generals, governors, and religious enemies. So right away, the comparison shifts. The ninja was more like a covert field operative. The assassin was more like a precision political killer. Both used stealth. Both relied on secrecy, but their missions were not identical. This is where the internet gets almost everything wrong. Let's start with ninja myths. No, they usually didn't run around wearing pure black in public. That would make you stand out, not disappear. Real shinobi often disguise themselves as peasants, monks, merchants, guards, or servants. Their goal was to blend in, not look mysterious. And that iconic ninjato, the straight ninja sword, is mostly a modern invention. Historically, shinobi probably used ordinary Japanese weapons, tools, and whatever fit the mission. Now, the assassins. The old story says they were drugged with hashish, shown fake paradise, and then manipulated into dying for their leader. It's dramatic, it's famous, and it's probably exaggerated at best. Most modern historians think this was enemy propaganda. The assassins were dangerous enough without fantasy stories. Their real power came from discipline, patience, infiltration, and absolute commitment to the mission. So both groups suffer from the same problem. Pop culture made them look cooler, but also less real. The truth is less magical and much more impressive. Here's where the comparison gets fascinating. Shinobi training was practical. It focused on movement, disguise, survival, observation, infiltration, climbing, and escape. Some came from regions like Iga and Koga, which later became legendary in Japanese memory. A good shinobi needed to enter hostile territory, gather information, create confusion, and leave alive. That last part matters. Escape was often part of the mission. The assassin mindset was different. The fidai, the devoted operative, was often trained for close-range political murder under extreme pressure. He might spend days, weeks, or longer waiting for a perfect chance. He might infiltrate a court, a religious procession, or a guarded city. And unlike the ninja, he was not always expected to escape. In many cases, survival was secondary to killing the target and sending a message. That's a huge difference. The shinobi mindset was complete the mission and disappear. The assassin mindset was complete the mission even if you die doing it. In terms of psychological impact, the assassins were terrifying. Kings and generals knew they could be reached anywhere. In terms of flexibility, though, the shinobi had the broader skill set. Neither of these groups should be judged mainly by swordsmanship, because their deadliest weapon was stealth. A shinobi might use short blades, bows, rope, hooks, fire, smoke, hidden entry methods, or simple everyday tools. Their real specialty was adapting to the mission. Need to scout a castle? Shinobi. Need to sabotage a supply storehouse? Shinobi. Need to slip into enemy territory and return with intelligence? Also shinobi. The assassins were far more specialized. Their signature weapon was the dagger, not because they lacked imagination, but because the dagger forced close contact. It made the killing personal, deliberate, and public enough to send a political message. A ruler stabbed in a mosque courtyard or palace corridor created fear far beyond the death itself. So who had the better toolkit? The ninja, easily. Who had the more focused method of political elimination? The assassin. The ninja was broader. The assassin was narrower, but terrifyingly precise. So let's run the scenarios. Scenario 1, infiltrating a guarded fortress, gathering information, and escaping alive. The ninja wins. That is exactly the kind of mission shinobi were built for. Scenario 2, eliminating a single high-profile political target in a crowded city. Even at the cost of your own life, the assassin wins. That is their historical specialty. Scenario 3, sabotage, burning supplies, spreading panic, disrupting communications. Again, the ninja has the advantage. More tools, more mission flexibility. Scenario 4, direct one-on-one open combat. Honestly, neither was optimized for this. But if forced, I'd give a slight edge to the ninja, simply because shinobi training was broader and more adaptable. So who was more dangerous? Depends entirely on the mission. So who were the real shadow warriors? If the job is infiltration, sabotage, scouting, deception, and getting out alive, the ninja has the advantage. He's more versatile, more flexible, and built for multi-purpose covert work. If the job is targeted political murder, close, deliberate, and terrifying, the assassin has the advantage. He's not there to survive. He's there to make sure the target dies. The real lesson isn't which one wins in a fantasy duel. It's that these were two different systems of secret warfare. The ninja was a covert operative. The assassin was a weapon of fear and political precision. Both were real, both were deadly, and both became so famous that history turned them into legends. If you want, we can do a full video next on the real history of the Hashshashin, because trust me, the truth is even stranger than the myth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.